Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to a Heart of the Swarm cast. It is between the red Zerg player in the lower right, it's Doggy, but his opponent is the one who everyone's going to be excited about, I suspect. It is of course IM's NesTea, who at the time of recording just made it through the up and downs to get into Code S of the GSL for Season 1, and yeah, pretty good. And as Doggy points out, he's thinking this is a fake person, so we'll wait and see. Of course, we don't know, but I'm going to live in hope that it is the real NesTea, because that would be absolutely awesome. So, regardless, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. Gonna go out on a limb that if it is the real NesTea, then he's going to win this game. Just going to put that out there, considering I haven't really heard of Doggy before. So anyway, we will wait and see what's going to happen. Anyway, ZvZ, which means that the early game ZvZ in Heart of the Swarm is very similar to how it's been in Wings of Liberty. You've still got the Zerglings, you've still got the Banelings, and there's nothing you're going to do to change that. Getting into the mid-game though, things get more exciting, especially when you start looking at the Swarm host. The reason being is you suddenly get the ability to contain your opponent, to hold expansions better, and really be a bit safer from a sudden flood of units. So hopefully we'll see these two utilize that. We've also got things going into the much later game where we start looking at, hey, Roach Hydra is a really strong composition, but what happens when you throw in a Viper with Blinding Cloud? What happens when you start adding Swarm hosts in? What happens when you even start some Mutalisk aggression, where obviously their health regeneration is so much stronger? All in all, we'll wait and see what those things are going to hold and what these two players are going to do. The first variation is already going on though, as we can see NesTea grabbing down the hatch first. Compared to the pull first out of Doggy, it was a 15 pull, so not too early or anything like that, no rush. Now just going to get the expansion up. Getting the spawning pull first allows you to get the queen slightly sooner, gives you a couple more Zerglings earlier on in the game, and also means that you are a little bit safer from any early aggression. But NesTea gonna get the slightly better economy in the long run for having this, so everything is absolutely fine. Now, yep, let's just take a look around. What else we've got? We've got the extractor there, obviously coming down for Doggy, the extractor coming down for NesTea as well, so again, gearing up towards getting speed out at a reasonable time. Lots of similarities, as I said, between Wings of Liberty. Nothing new here for Zerg early game, nothing too exciting going on, or that can be going on. Overlord Scouts now just getting in, seeing, hey, what's going on, what are your timings of everything. As a result, both players can react appropriately. The spawning pool just finishing up should get spotted there by Doggy. The natural bases will get shown fairly soon as well. The Queen nearly done, so this Overlord is going to have to hightail it out of there, because otherwise it's going to take a lot of damage from the Queen and may actually even get taken out, but it should be pretty safe getting back out there. So yeah, we will wait and see what they're going to do. Looking around, what else do we have? Not too much, just some nice droning. Two single Zerglings out of NesTea actually, so he's going to come and poke, he's going to come and prod, get a little bit of map awareness of what's going on. Meanwhile though, for Doggy, no Zerglings at all coming out, so he's all fine. So all in all, these two, they're happily just droning, and then droning a little bit more, because why not? You know you're going to be safe, you know from what you've scouted there's not too much aggression coming. So the first variation for what we normally see is this Roach one out of NesTea. This is something that is going to allow him to get up the Zerglings, or rather deal with Banelings should Doggy be going for that, but it does leave you a little bit vulnerable to big speedling pushes. Doggy sticking with the conventional Baneling nest coming down, so Ling Bling style out of there. Both players are getting speed down, of course, so that's all absolutely fine, hunky-dory and great. So yeah, while we wait to see what these two are going to do into the more mid-game position, remember, do like the video if you're enjoying the casting. Make sure you leave a cool comment as well and subscribe, because I get new games up daily. That would be super helpful. And I just hit 400 subscribers, or I did last week, so that was great times. The next target is 250,000 video views, which I'm hoping to achieve in about a year and a month of starting the channel properly. So that would be awesome if you guys could help me achieve that. Now, yep, so far, third gas on its way down, or second gas rather, now the third gas on its way down for Doggy. For NesTea, still on just the one gas, getting a couple of roaches out. That's going to be a nice defensive amount of roaches. Don't need too many more than that. Doggy going straight up to lair at a very early timing, so that's fine. The 8th roach now en route, but it does get scouted, that roach one, so that's important scouting information down there for Doggy, knowing that the roaches are going to be hitting the field shortly. He's chucking down some spine crawlers to be defensive against that. The 2 spine crawlers are going to be quite a lot, and not going to be necessary to deal with this. Unless some more roaches come out for NesTea, he should be absolutely fine with everything he's got to deal with, and Doggy won't have to panic too much. We do have one defensive Baneling coming out, a couple more Banelings now morphing as well. Not too many Zerglings in production, but they are on their way now, as this is all getting scouted by the great Overlord placement from both of these players to see precisely what's coming. Some more Speedlings on their way. NesTea actually getting out a lot of Speedlings now, going for super aggressive play. We can see the Doggy does have a 6 worker advantage, and the beta client is going to lag a little bit there for me, but nonetheless, we should see this aggression hit any second. A third Spine Caller now being added on, having seen how much NesTea's committing to this. The Banelings are going to be incredibly helpful with dealing with the Speedlings. They have to be careful not to engage on the Roaches, though. Leave that to the Spine Caller as best as possible. We do have a Baneling apparently detonating on those unbuildable rocks. But here we go, Transfuses going down on the Spine Callers. That is good. The Baneling's moving forward, and for the moment, NesTea forced back. Doggy is getting up his Spire, though. So, assuming he can hold this aggression, he's going to be in a great position in order to move forward, because NesTea taking his third, but does not have Lair even started yet, so that is going to be very advantageous for Doggy if he can get those mutants out. Now, as we can see, we've got more Banelings morphing, the Spine Callers finishing up. We now have 4 Spine Callers in total, a 5th on the way as well, so Doggy definitely going to be able to force NesTea to go back, unless he was going to commit a lot more units to this. However, the third base is nearly complete. That's going to give NesTea the option to produce a lot more drones and get ahead in the economy, where he's already just starting to catch up with Doggy now, so that's all good. Looking at the amount of gas sitting there, Doggy up at just below 500, so should be able to get about 6 mutants as soon as the Spire finishes. These 2 Zerglings now for the Red Zone player will come up, will scout out this third base, and that is critical for Doggy, so he knows what he can start pushing, where he can start targeting. Most likely going to come into the main with those Mutalisks, but can also come and poke maybe with Zerglings or something into the top. As we can see, a few Speedlings on their way over, so that is fine. Now, obviously Doggy taking his third base behind this, because why not? You need to get your third base up and ready whenever you can. That Spire, though, is going to get scouted. Yep, there we go. So Spire spotted now by NesTea. That means that he can start preparing the Spore Crawlers, instantly coming down. The Hydra Den straight away starting as well there. So great play out of the blue Zerg player. A couple of Speedlings do manage to get into the third base. I don't think they managed to pick up too much now. Only those 4 workers, so not much at all. More Spore Crawlers are on their way down. So that means that these mutants are going to be a lot less effective should they come out. As we can see, though, the 7 of them is not an overcommitment. They will be able to pick off quite a few of those Overlords, which is good news for Doggy, because that essentially means that he gets back the map vision, gives him the ability to expand a lot more, be a lot more aggressive, without NesTea necessarily know where he's going to poke and prod. The Hydras are on their way, though. We also have, of course, the Hydra speed upgrade coming down, as well as the Roach speed upgrade, so this is all to be expected. Mid-game, ZvZ is all about the Roach Hydra composition, and what you're going to be doing with that. Still, this third base could potentially take some aggression. We've got the Speedlings there. If they were able to pick off these Queens and also the Spore Crawler, everything would be very, very comfortable for those mutants to come in now. So straight away the mutants are on the way in. The Spore Crawler is doing some damage to the mutants, so you've got to be careful not to lose those. Some Roaches are flooding through, but as we see, the Speedlings doing some nice damage. Behind this, obviously the Overseer just taking a bit of damage, but only 1 additional worker was killed there. So together with the fact that Doggy's losing quite a lot of units, NesTea is still comfortably in this. We can see from the worker count that it's exactly equal. NesTea's slightly higher on supply, though, just getting supply blocked after losing that Overseer, which maybe isn't the best thing. Doggy grabbing more Mutas, so that is quite a big commitment, getting these more Mutalisks out. We do have the current Mutas being used very effectively, actually, at killing an awful lot of stuff. We can see that the amount of resources lost for NesTea is over double that the Doggy has lost, and with this Speedling Muta aggression, he's in a great position. The Hydra numbers, though, are steadily climbing. Those Hydras are going to be able to shut down the mutants in a head-on engagement as long as they got good numbers, so that is going to straight away be the concern for Doggy, but he's got a good force. He's getting quite a few Banelings in here as well. His third base is defended by these Banelings from Speedlings, which I personally think is a great little move there. It means that any Speedling aggression won't be too effective. Another Spine Crawler getting chucked down on the third, though, after having a couple of Speedling run-bys. That's a good choice from NesTea to defend this a bit better. We may see some more, there we go, some Spines coming down here as well for Doggy, because a lot of his force is being aggressive towards the third base. Not much in terms of defense here, though, because all of NesTea's army is in the center, and straight away the Zerglings are coming in. The Queen gets taken down near instantly. But Doggy, he pulls back, trying to fake out some of these roaches in order to pick them off with the muters. The muter number is up at a grade 14, so not an overcommitment, but still enough to do some nice damage. A lot of these hydras are going to get surrounded by the zerglings. The main base potentially vulnerable. Banelings coming in, and how much damage are these banelings going to be able to do to the mineral line? The answer is going to be an extraordinary amount should they connect, but NesTea is splitting his drones as best as he can. Still, good numbers have been killed. 20 workers have gone down. The hydras are coming in now though for NesTea, and he is able to pick off a couple of mutalisks there. So that was a good engagement at the natural base that knocks NesTea's worker count down to over 10 below Doggy's count at the moment. So that's great news for the red Zerg player, but this Hydra Roach counter push could be very strong. 22 Roaches and 17 Hydras with +1 already done, +2 nearly finished. Compare that of course to these Zerglings, which are +2. Well, they're not going to engage too well against the Roach Hydra mix. In come the Muters, engaging directly with that Spore Cooler because they have got a good mass. Could do with pulling back some of those Muters to make sure that they don't lose too much health, and he goes down equally. Lots of drones are dying, but NesTea pushing straight in. In come the Banelings with some massive hits. Of course, they will do great damage to the Hydralisks, and straight away some great damage being done here. And that was a fantastic engagement for the red Zerg player. NesTea, though, does still have a good number of units on the field, so he's still streaming them in. He's still doing some nice damage, picking off that Spine Crawler, of course, pushing all the way into the main base. Some good damage could be done. The Queen magically being allowed to survive, but in come the Muters, so it will get cleaned up. It's just a case of how long it will take to do so, and with that many Muters, it shouldn't take too long. You can see those Roaches going down very quickly. Some drones trying to get killed as fast as possible by NesTea at the moment. He's also getting a little bit of aggression going on in the third base, but not too much. But of course, every drone you can kill is going to be putting you slightly, or getting you slightly back into the macro and the economic side of this game, because we can see here NesTea is still very low on the work count after how many he lost from the mutual aggression from Doggy during this counter attack. So all in all, these two are neither looking great economically. They do both have their third bases down, but both of them have lost a lot of workers. However, Doggy definitely coming out having lost significantly more, having killed significantly more rather than that of NesTea. So the droning is going to have to come down. We see some drones now in production. More Hydras were on their way out though, trying to buy time, but Doggy with a big supply lead at the moment of 40 supply, he's going to be putting on the pain, and NesTea is not in a comfortable position to try and defend this. The Hydras are getting pulled back, but the Muters are still coming in. They do have +1 attack, these Muters obviously, and the Spore Crawler gets instantly taken down. Now it's just the Hydras, but of course Doggy can pull back. He can be harassing at multiple different bases with these Muters, poking in, pulling back, trying to keep them alive as long as possible. Wants to just avoid the Hydralisks of NesTea, and he will be absolutely fine. Still though, Doggy pushing forward. He's doing some nice damage. He's got a good defensive position as well, with a couple of Spine Crawlers up at the third base. His natural is slightly exposed though, that's the only thing you could say. +2 flyer attack on its way. These Muters all clumping up. Got to be careful with the Hydras there, but of course they are very out of position. Should Doggy just go straight into there, but instead pulling back, the Banelings coming in. Some great hits go off, and with all the Hydras cleaned out, there is the GG. And Doggy does indeed take it. NesTea went for a lot of early aggression. Again, not sure if that is genuinely the real NesTea, but assuming it is, that was great play. Even if it wasn't, it was a fun game. So remember, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you did enjoy, make sure you like the video, make sure you leave a cool comment, and make sure you subscribe. I will catch you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.